If you are a brand owner looking to sell your item directly on Amazon, there are a couple things that we thought you should know. We believe that using third-party sellers responsibly and finding really qualified ones can really be in your benefit in the long term. But we know that because of cash flow issues or just even wanting to cut out the middleman, there's a lot of you that would like to sell your products directly on Amazon and not use additional third-party sellers. So we wanted to go through some of the basics of selling your products directly on Amazon. There's a couple of ways that you can sell your products, and one of those is through Amazon Seller Central. Amazon Seller Central is really the primary method we recommend because for many of you, especially emerging brands, controlling your price is going to be really, really important. And Seller Central does give you much more control over pricing as long as you're the only seller on that item. It's going to give you better margins, anybody's going to be able to sell, and you're going to have more control over your inventory levels. You get to decide how much inventory is going to be in Amazon at any given point of time. So there's a huge benefit just in that alone. Now, Vendor Central or Vendor Express are also great programs. Vendor Express is available to anybody, so you don't need to wait for Amazon to invite you. You can start right away with Vendor Express. So if you just Google Amazon Vendor Express, if you know you want to sell directly to Amazon, that's the way to go. Amazon does like to see previous sales history, so sometimes using Amazon Seller Central first can help make it so your product is noticed enough that Amazon will pick up that request that you submit through Vendor Central. To sign up for Seller Central, what you're going to do is you're going to go to this website right here, the services.amazon.com. Then you're going to go /content, sell on Amazon. And that page is going to get you to sign up. Now, the common questions we get on this, should I be professional or individual? If you're going to sell more than 40 items per month, we recommend that you just go straight to the professional. It breaks even at 40 items per month, and it's required for some of our favorite tools, and that professional account is also required for some of our favorite Amazon programs that are going to give you a selling advantage over your competitors. We go through a lot of that in a couple of other videos, but just make sure that you're using that professional seller account as long as you anticipate that you're going to sell at least 40 items per month. Now, when you get your account, you need to protect your account. You only get one shot with Amazon. So you want to make sure you only have one Seller Central account unless you have express permission. And if you do have two accounts with permission, they need to have different bank accounts and different inventory. The inventory can't match. So we want to make sure a different EIN, different bank account, and different inventory base. You want to enable two-factor authentication. It's going to be really important for protecting your account. And you want to use those sub-login options for employees and vendors. Don't just share your master password. The reason for that is that with that master password, it's really easy to change the banking information, which is something you definitely don't want to kind of leave up to chance or to maybe let vendors have access to. So use the sub-login feature that Amazon Seller Central provides. So when it comes to getting your items on Amazon, if they're not already on Amazon, you're going to go into Seller Central and then go to Inventory, Add a Product, and you're going to search for that product by UPC and by name and by brand. Sometimes people will create listings, but they might not have used the UPC that you've purchased and put on the back of the product. So it's really important that you search to make sure you don't create these duplicate listings. Once you've checked, make sure you're going to go ahead and click Add a New Product, and you're going to walk through those steps. They're very good at walking you through the steps. Make sure you fill out as much data as you can. Now, if there's pieces you can't fill out that aren't starred with that red star, you can always come back to your listings. In fact, we have a whole video in our course about just enhancing listings. So you can definitely go back later and enhance and add keywords, add things that will help your listing convert better. Now, if the listing is already on Amazon, we want to get an idea of how much you're going to get after Amazon fees. Amazon fees can take a lot, especially if your item is priced low, so items with low ASP or average sale price. Things that are very big or very heavy. Those things, the fees on Amazon can add up to be quite a bit. However, if your item is about the size of a bread box, priced over $20, then you can expect that Amazon is going to take about 33%. Now, you can use this Fulfillment by Amazon Revenue Calculator. The easiest way to get there is just to Google Fulfillment by Amazon Revenue Calculator. And on this calculator, it will, when you put in the ASIN, it will tell you exactly how much you're going to get after all of Amazon's fees. So it will tell you with the dimensions and everything that you've entered, how much you're going to get after Amazon takes their cut. Now, once you go to list your item on Amazon, if your item is already on there, you're going to go to that add a product and you're going to click on this sell yours button right here. Now, if it says request approval, your brand might need approval, or you might need approval in a category first. There's a lot of ways to get approved in that. If you're the brand owner, you should have no problem getting into those categories. It might take a little time and a little patience, but you should be able to get in there. Once you select that item and you click that sell yours button, you're going to enter that key component for the listing information. And that's the seller SKU is also called the MSKU. We're going to talk about that. The MSKU is going to be how you match it internally. If you're using something else like SKU Vault or something else that's going to help you manage your inventory across platforms, then we recommend that you use the same SKU across all of your systems. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. And if you do start selling on other platforms like Jet or Walmart, then it's going to make moving into those other platforms and managing your inventory across those platforms much simpler. You're also going to need to put the condition, which for most of you is going to pretty much always be new, and then you're going to put your price. I highly recommend that you use Amazon's Fulfillment by Amazon program. So you're going to have that radio box check that says, I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service for my items once they sell. For many Amazon customers, you don't exist if your product is not available via Amazon Prime. So sending your items in through FBA is going to be a big piece in you getting that conversion. Once you get your items listed, we're going to send in your first shipment. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get your shipment supplies ready. You're going to need Avery 30 Up labels, some boxes, some tape, those kind of things. Sending those items to Amazon's warehouse is what makes them eligible for Prime. So it gives them that Prime denotation, and you're going to get so many more sales by using that than by shipping it yourself. However, if you have an item that there's just no way you're going to send into Amazon, is that you look into Seller Fulfilled Prime. Now, we've found that using Amazon FBA can increase conversions by up to 300%. They handle the shipping, the customer service, and the returns, so it makes things much easier. Some important vocabulary you're going to need to sell on Amazon, that ASIN, that Amazon Standard Identification Number, that's what identifies each product page to that product on Amazon. The MSKU is your stock keeping unit, and that's your internal SKU, and that can be whatever you'd like it to be. Then there's the FNSKU, the Fulfillment Network Stock Keeping Unit. That's Amazon SKU tying that particular product to your selling account and that product page. So it's really what ties everything together. That FNSKU is what's going to print on the label that Amazon's going to walk you through during that shipping process. And you're going to take that label that they have with the FNSKU, and you're going to cover the barcode with the FNSKU. It's important that any additional barcodes are covered with blank labels, but we want to make sure that that main barcode is covered with the FNSKU and that it's nice and readable. You want to make sure that you follow all the prompts Amazon walks you through. You are going to need, again, those Avery 30 Up address labels. You're going to place the FNSKU stickers over the barcodes. And then we want to make sure that we're protecting things. So you want to make sure that before you've put those stickers on, really that you've looked at the category-specific rules. So, for example, in baby and toys, anything over about a 1-inch space where somebody could, poke through, any try-me buttons, anything that's exposed, like a lot of toys are, then you're going to need to put that in a poly bag to make sure that it, doesn't get damaged, it doesn't get dusty and dirty, nothing falls into that packaging while it's shipping. Same thing with plush. Anything that's fragile, we want to make sure it drops the 3-foot drop rule, which means if we drop it straight down or on its corner from 3 feet, it should survive in the current packaging. We actually try to make our products even much more durable. You almost want to be able to drop kick your product down the street and still have it survive. Amazon is very tough on our merchandise because they're using a lot of conveyor belts. We want to think about things falling on the floor, things falling off of conveyor belts, because that happens all the time at Amazon. By making sure your products are protected, you'll lower your number of returns and increase your profits. If you're food or health and beauty, anybody who's doing liquids, make sure you really check those liquid requirements. They're very, very specific. But you for sure are going to need a double seal. And if it's not a glass product, you have a little bit more of a window. But if you have a glass product in liquid, it's very important that you check those requirements because they are very specific on what is required for different size bottles. Once you get your items labeled, you get them all packed up, Amazon will tell you which items you're supposed to send to which warehouses. You should expect that they're going to send you between 2 and 15 different warehouses. If you send them in case packs, you're going to have less warehouse distribution, so a fewer number of warehouses. The other option is to use premium placement, which allows you to send everything to one warehouse. Amazon assigns these warehouses to you, and there isn't any real way to change them. You can kind of move it around a little bit depending on if you use case pack or not, and if you use LTL. But you do, for the most part, you're going to have to do what Amazon says. The reason they have you send them all over the place is because if somebody orders something in New York, they want it to be available the next day to them. So they're having you send it all over so that it'll be available across the country, so that they can get your product into the hands of consumers even faster. When you ship, you're going to be delightfully surprised at the shipping rates, I think. Amazon partnered shipping is one of the best parts of selling on Amazon. You're going to get basically Amazon's UPS rates, which you can't really beat because they use so much shipping. Remember that you need to think about dimensional weights, especially if you have large and light items, but it is going to be much less expensive than regular shipping. When it comes to allowing those shipments to get checked in, we want to allow 3 to 14 days. During Q4 or high seasons, it can go up to about 3 weeks. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time to restock your inventory as you use Amazon's Fulfillment by Amazon network. Once your shipment arrives, you can still change your listing details and price. There's something you really want to spend some time investigating, and that's how the buy box works. The buy box is really, really important. Whoever has the buy box is basically where it says shipped and sold by. That person is going to get that sale when the customer clicks that add to cart button. The buy box is made up of a variety of different pieces. The biggest pieces are, is it available via FBA? Basically, does it have that prime distinction? So if by sending your items to Amazon's warehouse, you give yourself a huge advantage on getting that buy box. It's also going to look at seller metrics. How much feedback and experience does Amazon have with this person? The quantity, the pricing, and where it is in relationship to the customer that's looking at it. So there's a bunch of unknown factors too. Nobody really knows exactly what goes into the buy box. In our experience, if your item is available via FBA, you have good selling metrics, and you're priced within 2% of the lowest buyer, FBA seller, then that means that you're going to have access to that buy box. And again, that's within 2% of the lowest FBA offer. I hope that helps get you started on selling your items directly on Amazon. Feel free to reach out with us with any more questions. You can reach me at robin@bestfromthenest.com.